Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News, where we are discussing environmental collapse, environmental destruction, humans just having a go at the biosphere, just doing whatever we want to because we can, which is absolutely madness, because apparently humans have no self-control, and my Wi-Fi has very little staying power right now. But I'm going to bring you some more stories. This is a little bit of a grab bag. Well, they're all grab bags, but they all add to the big picture, do they not? I saw this and I just wanted to read all right, and we're back. I kind of wanted to skim this article because it's funny. I'm hoping that I don't keep losing my signal because it's quite annoying. So the title of this article from the Washington Post is from March 19th. There's a small chance an asteroid will smack into Earth in 2135. NASA is working on a plan. The hilarious thing about this is that NASA is working on a plan to deal with an asteroid strike 100 years from now, and yet we cannot deal with a plan to deal with the actual asteroid strike, which we are actuating on the Earth, which is going to come at us much, much sooner than this. So, but just a little trip through ridiculousness. Here's a tip for planners among you. If you have a dinner reservation or theater tickets for September 22nd, 2135, now might be a good time to scuttle them. Sometime the day before, scientists say there is a small chance that an asteroid the size of the Empire State Building will smack into the Earth, destroying a lot of living things on the planet. But don't worry, NASA has got you covered. Forward-thinking astrophysicists and people who specialize in blowing things up with nuclear weapons have come up with a plan which they swear was not drawn up by Bruce Willis. If the asteroid, it is named Bennu, decides to go rogue, they could send a nearly 9-ton bulk impactor to push it out of Earth's orbit, or more likely, they would gently nudge it out of its apocalyptic path using a nuclear device. The scheme is called Hypervelocity Asteroid Mitigation Mission, or for emergency response, or for people who love acronyms and despise subtlety, HAMMER. Brent Barbee, the NASA aerospace engineer who helped author the study, insists that it is all theoretical. His exact words, "Please don't print that an asteroid is going to crash into Earth in the Washington Post." But using granular detail and eye-glazing amounts of math, the researchers believe they have a viable solution to a world-rattling what-if question. Okay. I'm not going to read any more of this, but I just thought that was funny. Guys, NASA guys, come up with plans to save us from a total annihilation before 2050, please, if you would. More lovely news. More lovely news. Air quality study detects nano-sized particles of air pollution in children's urine. The presence of nano-sized particles of air pollution with a diameter of just 100 nanometers has for the first time been detected in children's urine. The finding is particularly concerning as the particulate matter, also known as black carbon, has been linked to heart diseases and other respiratory conditions. Despite the EU's commitment to improving air quality, notably through the National Emissions Ceilings Directive and the reduction commitments for 2020 and 2030, the findings only reinforce the sense of urgency in finding and implementing concrete and effective solutions to prevent a major European and global public health risk. And that's it. Short and to the point. I guess the National Emissions Ceilings Directive isn't going so well either. What is the implementing concrete and effective solutions, I think might be the way to go, which was, didn't France, I think actually France at one time in the last few years banned cars from city streets for a time, like in Paris. Also, China has been known to do the same. At least these countries are willing to take measures, you know, to absolutely mitigate, you know, to see the problem, you know, where the problem stems from, and actually, you know, stop doing the things that are causing the problem, right? If only for a short while, if only for, you know, if only even as a Band-Aid or a, you know, some kind of surface level mitigation, you know, but we would never do anything like that, you know, because good God, the economy, or, you know, what would people do? Oh my God, we can't ban cars from driving. Anything but that. Moving along. Wanted to read a little bit of this from the Rewilding Institute. Lockdown at Stephens Creek Buffalo Trap. Wild buffalo defenders risk life and freedom to stop Yellowstone buffalo slaughter. This is from March 6th. This morning, a press release issued on Facebook by an emerging group, Wild Buffalo Defense, revealed that 2 members of Wild Buffalo Defense locked down inside Yellowstone National Park's highly controversial Stephens Creek Buffalo Trap. The individuals secured themselves to, quote unquote, the silencer, the squeeze chute that holds wild buffalo for testing and other invasive procedures before they are shipped off to slaughter facilities. This winter, Yellowstone National Park has captured more than 500 wild buffalo inside the facility, though in the past 2 decades, thousands of the gentle giants, a sacred keystone species who is our national mammal, have met their end after being captured at Stephens Creek and moved through this facility. I had no idea, actually, that this was happening. All captured buffalo are destined for slaughter or domestication and commercialization in an effort to appease Montana's cattle interests. So, yeah. So if you're eating meat, you're not just killing one animal, you're killing many. The Yellowstone buffalo herds are the last continuously wild migratory buffalo remaining in the nation. There is vast public support in Montana, the U.S., and around the globe for these buffalo to live wild and free on their ancestral lands. Wild Buffalo Defense's press release reports that 2 individuals who locked down to the trap have been identified as Cody Kyson, an Ojibwa man, and Thomas Brown, a former Buffalo Field Campaign volunteer. After hours stalling Yellowstone's capture and slaughter operations, Kyson and Brown were arrested. They have an arraignment date set for Wednesday morning at Yellowstone's headquarters in Mammoth, Wyoming. We applaud these courageous souls for sacrificing their freedom to free wild buffalo and to draw more attention to this atrocious trap, said BFC media coordinator Stephanie Shea, or Shea, I don't know. This action should send another strong message to Yellowstone National Park that there are many people who strongly oppose the current mismanagement of the American icon, said Shea. The Stephens Creek Buffalo Trap stands as a monument to oppression and control over beings who were born to roam free. They are the embodiment of wildness and freedom, and these qualities are precisely the reason they were chosen to represent this nation, supposedly the land of the free. The 2 herds who make up the Yellowstone buffalo population are the last wild buffalo to have continuously existed on the land since before European settlers arrived. These buffalo are the direct descendants of the 23 individual buffalo who saved their kind from extinction by seeking shelter in what is now Yellowstone's Pelican Valley. The ancestors of the buffalo who survive today escaped the exterminating campaign of the U.S. government implemented during the 19th century in an attempt to starve the plains people. Yellowstone's senseless buffalo slaughter is considered by indigenous buffalo cultures and bison advocates at large as a continuation of genocide. During the time the two men were locked down at the trap, others gathered at the gate to the Stephens Creek facility holding a banner that reads, "Buffalo slaughter equals cultural genocide." When asked why he was taking this action, risking his own freedom and possible injury, Cody Kyson said, "I am standing with the Plains Indians as a member of the Ojibwa tribe in Minnesota. I have a Blackfeet friend who helped me protect my territory from the Line 3 pipeline, and now I'm here for him and the buffalo. I have a love for the people. That's what my mom passed down to me, and I have love for the environment and animals, and I feel like I have an obligation to protect them. If I have to put my body on the line to do so, I will. All buffalo captured at Stephens Creek are destined for direct shipments to slaughter or confinement, slaughter, and domestication through an as-yet unapproved quarantine plan." Yellowstone, Montana, and other government officials distort the reality of capture for slaughter or quarantine, claiming it is necessary in order to appease Montana's intolerance for the native grazers. Through a political livestock industrial crafted population cap, crafted population cap, Yellowstone National Park officials are licking the boots of the Montana livestock industry and are managing the last wild migratory bison population in the nation. Excuse me. Our national mammal to maintain it a minimum population that is well below a genetically viable population. They are driving the world's most important bison population towards extinction, said Ken Cole, Buffalo Field Campaign's executive director. In a press release dated February 22nd, Yellowstone Superintendent Dan Wenk stated that targeting the Stephens Creek trap to release imprisoned buffalo was a setback for bison conservation, and suggested that quarantine is a beneficial tool for restoring bison onto tribal lands. However, there is already evidence that wild buffalo have been exploited and commercialized through the quarantine process, and under Yellowstone's proposed 50-year quarantine plan, it is likely to happen again. In fact, the first quarantine bison were transferred to Ted Turner, who has been managing them, according to TurnerBisonExchange.com, for optimum economic production and selling them at auction at prices of $11,000 to $42,500. This underscores the fact that quarantine buffalo could end up in the hands of private for-profit entity, not just tribes. Wild Buffalo Defense's press release shared words from other individual who put his own life at risk. They say they need to kill the buffalo to stop the spread of brucellosis, but the wild elk have brucellosis and they're allowed to roam free because the cattle industry is not worried about elk competing for grass, and the state receives income from the elk hunting permits, said Tom Brown, a former volunteer with the Buffalo Field Campaign. Yellowstone National Park claims that they are forced to undertake current bison management schemes by court order. However, as signatories to the Interagency Bison Management Plan, Yellowstone or any agency can issue a 30-day written notice to terminate the already expired plan. Buffalo Field Campaign has submitted an alternative plan to Montana and Yellowstone that respects wild bison like wild elk in Montana. Yellowstone also claims that they engage in such highly controversial management tactics due to Montana's intolerance for wild buffalo, a statement which is grossly misleading. Montanans at large, the majority in this vast state, have repeatedly expressed their desire for wild migratory buffalo on the landscape, said Mike Meese, co-founder of the Buffalo Field Campaign. It is only a small but vocal minority of Montana's livestock industry who Yellowstone is sacrificing America's national mammal for, and it's time for this war to end. Brucellosis is often used as an excuse for Yellowstone and Montana's extreme and abusive bison management actions, yet there has never been a documented case of wild bison to cattle transmission since the arrival of invasive cattle to this continent. Cattle first introduced cattle first introduced brucellosis to North American wildlife populations, and elk in the greater Yellowstone region have also been exposed, but more importantly, elk have been blamed numerous times for transmitting the livestock disease back to cattle without consequence. While Buffalo Field Campaign, as an organization, cannot take these actions, we would like to thank these brave men for taking them at the Stephens Creek capture facility today, said Ken Cole, BFC's executive director. We have shared values and we are in solidarity with anyone who is working to liberate wild buffalo and protect them from indiscriminate slaughter, quarantine, and domestication. West Yellowstone, Montana-based Buffalo Field Campaign is a nonprofit public interest organization founded in 1997 to protect the natural habitat of wild migratory buffalo and native wildlife, to stop the slaughter of America's last wild buffalo and advocate for their lasting protection, and work with all people of all nations to honor the sacredness of wild bison. For more information, visit buffalofieldcampaign.org. That's all I have for this video and for this evening. I hope you found these articles informative. If not entertaining. I don't know what's entertaining about this, but informative mostly. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. As always, I appreciate your comments, your feedback, your presence on this channel. I have a really wonderful group of followers, and I appreciate you guys every single day for being here and discussing this most dire and terrible condition that we find ourselves in. I should be back tomorrow with another video or two. If you would like to donate to this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.